Hey guys, Will here. Welcome back to the channel. Now today's video I'm really excited about because I've been waiting to make this video for about 3.5 months. So finally today I've got my hands on our brand new FANATEC ClubSport Formula V2 steering wheel. So I pre-ordered this on announcement day, which was back I think on the 12th of December. And I've been waiting and checking online pretty much every single day to see when it would ship. And it did ship on the due date, which was awesome. And it's finally arrived here today at the start of March. So I haven't unboxed it yet. I've kept it all nice in the packaging so that I can unbox it with you and share my first impressions with you guys. So this video is going to be about unboxing, first impressions. We'll get it hooked up onto our wheelbase 2.5, do a bit of testing in F1 2018 and see if it makes a difference. So the main reason why I purchased this when I already had the Formula Carbon is that I do find changing ERS and engine modes and things like that, fuel trims and things like that can be really tricky with this wheel in this game in particular, because there's no rotary encoders that you can really use to adjust things while you're driving and steering. And once you start to get quicker in this game, it's something that you definitely want to be able to do. So I've tried a couple of different configurations. I tried using a button box to do it. I tried using the buttons above here to change the modes, but I really found that it was a little bit clumsy, and I'm really hoping that the little thumb wheels that you get on this wheel will make that a lot easier. So we'll find that out in this video as well. So let's get to the unboxing now. So I'll quickly flip the lid here. Now, as they always have on FANATEC boxes, they have this little text thing that reveals itself as you open it up. So it says, "I'm an artist. The track is my canvas." Okay. Marketing stuff. "And the car is my brush." Okay. Cool. So then we have our quick start guide here, which we will look at before we get everything hooked up, just to make sure there's no specific drivers that we need. Now I do have the latest firmware and drivers installed for the wheelbase already that were released about a week ago. So hopefully we won't need to do anything like that, but we will check that out quickly. Okay, this is cool. We get a little thing of buttons that we can stick over the top of our factory buttons. So we've got windscreen wipers, seat position, turbo boost, horn, all bunch of stuff there. So that's pretty cool. We can overlay some buttons there as well. One thing I have noticed in game is that it's often a little bit tricky to keep track of what numbers which buttons are. The game comes up and it says, you know, press button 1 for this, press button 4 for this, press button 26 for this, and it's hard to remember what does what sometimes. So this should definitely help with that. And then we have the wheel itself. Now I will quickly note as well, there's a little bag inside the box that comes with the retention screw for the quick release system. Now I will be installing this because I have had problems with broken pins in the past. If you're changing wheels all the time, you don't need to install it. And importantly, I will just mention that I've spoken to FANATEC specifically about this, and they've said that you don't need to install this screw on the quick release to keep your warranty. So they're not going to say, well, if you get a broken pin or something like that, they're not going to say, well, you weren't using the screw, so no warranty for you. You are covered regardless of whether you're using that screw or not. But for me, because I don't change wheels all that often, I will be installing that screw. But anyway, let's get to what you guys are no doubt the most interested in and have a look at the wheel itself. So we'll take off all the foam padding, undo the little bag here, and hopefully I don't make an idiot of myself trying to undo the knot. It's not going well for me. There we go. Loosen it off. There we are. All right, and let's have a look at this wheel. Okay, so it actually has the Xbox buttons on it by default, but I'm assuming you can pull those caps off. Yeah, you can pull those caps off, so that's pretty cool. But very, very, very nice build quality, as pretty much exactly as I expected, to be honest, because it's the same build quality as I had with the Formula Carbon. So having a quick look here, the general button layout is exactly the same as the Formula Carbon. The difference being we now have these little toggle switches here that we can use. We've got our rotary dials here as well. Now, I'm not sure exactly how that's going to integrate into the game. I believe that it's probably not going to work simply because the game doesn't understand the position of switches. It only understands whether you've moved forward or back. So if we set it to change every single time we change a setting, it probably would work. But if we go, all right, I want to be in mode 8, the game's probably not going to understand that. And I hope that later on they'll release a patch, but we'll test that out a little bit further on down the track. We've got our rotary encoder here, as we had before, our directional hat switch here. And the most important thing for me, at least, is we now have our rotary encoders on the thumbs as well. And they actually feel pretty good, I'd say. They definitely don't feel like automotive grade like you'd have in a race car or something like that, but they've got plenty of tactile feedback there. There's a pronounced little click every time you spin it, but it's not so stiff that you need to put a lot of effort in to change the mode, so that's nice. Now we also have the little vacuum fluorescent display here as well to replace the old 7-segment displays that are on the old one, so that should be pretty cool as well. It's a little bit smaller than we have with the 7 segments. We still have our RPM gauge here as well as the new addition of the flashing lights on the side here as well. And again, I'm not sure exactly how well that's integrated in F1 2018 yet or in other games as well. You do have software options like FANALEDs and stuff like that to take control of those devices later on. But anyway, let's get this hooked up onto the wheelbase itself. I should just quickly mention as well, it's got the nice little shifters here that now have the red accents on them instead of just the black. They're exactly the same design as we had on the Formula Black and the Formula Carbon, but we do have the option to upgrade to the PODIUM shifters when they come out later on down the track as well. So I'll definitely be getting my hands on those to test those out and see how they compare. I should also mention at this point in the video, before we get started on installing it, is that I did pay full retail for this product as well. So it's not a sponsored or endorsed video by any means. Having said that, we do have some affiliate links in the description below. So if you do want to buy any of the gear that you see in this video, the wheel, or any of the other wheels, or the wheelbase, or anything like that, do check out those affiliate links. A small kickback comes back to me to help out with the channel and buy more gear to review for you guys. But yeah, look, as I said, absolutely not a sponsored video or anything like that. All the opinions that I share in this video will be absolutely my own and not put in my mouth by FANATEC. So let's get it installed on the wheelbase and see how we go. So the first thing we need to do is remove the little retention screw here that is in there by factory. Line this up. We'll take off our old wheel. So we just grab onto it, pull on it, and it slides straight off like that. We'll switch the wheelbase off for now. Okay, so install the wheel. All we need to do is just pull on the little locking ring here. It slides on nice and easily, like so. Clicks into position, and then we can switch our wheelbase back on. Okay, so we already have the latest version of the FANATEC driver installed on the system, which just came out a couple of weeks ago. And when we've switched everything on and opened up the driver's software here, you can see it's straight away detected that there's a new wheel installed, and it's also prompting us to install the latest firmware for that wheel as well. So we'll click OK here. And we can see the lights are flashing, it's doing its thing. So we click the connect button. CSW Formula V2 rim, flash the firmware, it's always nerve-wracking doing firmware updates. I don't know why. I've never actually had anything fail a firmware update. I don't think I've probably done thousands of flashes in my lifetime, but it always makes me a little bit nervous. Okay, so it's rebooting, that's good. Okay, wheelbase 620, ModCon 18, and wheel version 21. So that looks like it's all been successful. So we can close our firmware updater again now and open up our FANATEC software once again to check our configuration. Now, one thing I've noticed here is that it has kept my center position, so that's good. I don't need to recalibrate the center. If I needed to do that, I would just press the middle here, get it aligned, press the two buttons together to set the center, and then go back out again. But you can see on the little vacuum fluorescent display here, it gives us a nice little readout of our various different things. So you can see at the moment we're in setting number 2, which is our preset 2. Setting preset number 1, if I was to scroll across to that, is what I use for my BMW wheels. So the next thing we want to do now is boot up the game, check to see how we can configure things, and see if everything works. Alright, so we'll quickly jump into the menu and into our controller configuration. So settings, controls, and force feedback, calibration here, and we'll scroll down. Now it's probably going to, yeah, it's a little bit confused because it doesn't know what's plugged in anymore, but that's okay. So we'll go to our GT track on wheel calibration here, and we'll probably set up a new one based off this. This was my previous calibration for the old wheel. So we'll go edit, and then what we're interested in here is how it actually integrates with our buttons like this, and in particular these ones here. I don't think that it's going to play nicely with engine modes here, simply because we don't have an MFD shortcut for those positions specifically. But what we'll try is we'll go in here, we'll see what we can do. So what I was previously doing was I was assigning hotkeys using the keyboard shortcuts and then using my Stream Deck to actually control those functions. And then the ones that you could see here, so for fuel mix increase and decrease, I was using the buttons here. But we're not going to be doing that anymore. So we're going to go fuel mix increase and see what happens here. So it doesn't like these ones. You're definitely not going to be able to use these maps for our inputs here. Okay, and it doesn't understand, like it detects that there's a signal come in, but it doesn't actually assign it to anything. So that obviously isn't going to work. So we're not going to be able to use these for our fuel mix. But to be honest, when you're driving, you're probably not going to want to take your hand off to change those anyway. We're probably going to want to use these for our mix and ERS anyway. So not too worried about that. I was kind of expecting that. It would be nice, given that FANATEC is a major sponsor of F1 2018. Hopefully for F1 2019, if they don't release a patch for 18, they'll be able to incorporate these buttons so that we can use them inside the game. But for now, we'll go back to waiting for input, and we'll use our thumb wheel up for fuel increase, thumb wheel down for fuel decrease, and then we'll continue across. ERS increase up, and ERS decrease will become down. So that should work really nicely inside the game. So what we'll do now is we'll save those controls. We'll save over the top of our previous one because I've got no intention of going back to the old setup again. And we'll go back out and we'll actually do some testing and see how we go. Okay, so what we'll be doing is going into Grand Prix mode and just doing a short Grand Prix of Brazil, because that's the last track that I did in the league racing, so it's the one that I'm the most rehearsed on at the moment. We'll set our AI to 107%, laps to 25%. We'll just do a single shot qualifying just so that we have a hopefully better position than back of the grid. Okay, so quickly load our car setup. Brazil. Crank our wing down to 1. And we don't have to worry about fuel or anything like that because it's a single shot. So head to the track. And we'll remember to crank our ERS down to overtake mode. So 1 flick down. Oh, are you serious? I guess we'll be starting at the back of the grid then. That's alright. So let's get in and get going. So we're going to be doing quite a bit of fuel and ERS management in this race. And that's really the main reason why I bought this wheel, was because I didn't like how I was having to manage fuel and ERS before. I was having to break my concentration to take my hands off the wheel to change things on the button box, or, you know, really concentrate hard. So let's see if we can gain a couple of spots off the start here without damaging our wing. Up to rich fuel, down to overtake. Alright, we're going to save some ERS in here, save some fuel too, because we're going to be going slow on the first lap anyway. Probably could have dive bombed him, but that doesn't matter. The dials already, like, they feel a little bit light. I prefer a more, I guess, heavy click. It's fine when you're not wearing gloves, but when you're wearing gloves, it's kind of a little bit flimsy feeling, which, I don't know, I get the hang of it before we comment too much on it. But go back up to overtake again. It's probably just because I'm not used to it, but I feel like I want the button presses to feel a little less light, because it's hard to talk while I'm racing, but you kind of have to really concentrate on how much you're spinning it, otherwise you go 2 clicks or 3 clicks even. So we'll go back down to standard again here. Crank our ERS back down again. Probably could have overtaken him. We'll wait until we have ERS and then we should blitz past them. Oh. Don't think we got any damage. Back to Rich. I'm having to really concentrate at the moment, but I think it's just because I'm not used to it.
Race officials have
penalty already.
You've been awarded a time penalty for that last incident.
Alright, we got DRS now, which should help keep the guys behind us off our back. Alright, Hartley, I'm coming past. See you later.
Okay, good work. Great pass.
Fuel back down to standard.
The battery is low on energy. Reducing
Another warning. I don't know, the force feedback feels a little bit different. I feel like maybe my settings haven't come across perfectly, but it's just a little bit more twitchy than I'm used to. I think the damper's maybe not quite turned up quite so high as I had it before or something like that. I have to fiddle with that, but
fuel target is plus.
that's okay. That's not the wheel's fault, that's just the settings. Back to overtake again. Starting to get the hang of those buttons now. They're not feeling quite so flimsy as they did to begin with. Probably not going to be... Oh, we're going to be close enough? We might try the dive bomb. Oh, late on the brakes. How many positions did we lose? You got one up us. I don't think we actually lost any positions. We just lost ground. Probably completely raped our tyres though. Let's have a look at the tyres. 18%. Okay. Okay, so turning down the ERS then was easier than taking my thumb up and playing with it. I was able to sort of... I'm just not trusting my input just yet. I'm having to look across at the display to see what my ERS is set to. It's not... I'm not confident enough that one click equals one move. But I think that's more just me getting used to it rather than a fault of the wheel itself. It's nice that, yeah, one click definitely equals one move now, whereas with my old button box, you kind of had to click it twice sometimes, or sometimes it would miss the input altogether. So let's turn down our ERS again. It's definitely, it feels consistent, which is good. So I'm going to turn it off completely for now and turn our fuel down to lean as well. Through this next sector. Back up to overtake again. Back up to Rich. Running out of fuel now.
We're boxing this lap. Give us the best in lap you can. Start losing some tyre grip around now.
That's alright, because I'm coming into the pits, Jeff.
Remember, box this lap. Keep an eye on your distance to the speed limit.
Alright, see if we can get this pit limiter right. Not bad. A little bit slow. Yeah, okay, so I feel like I'm getting used to it now. Like, at first it felt like it was too flimsy and I was really struggling with it, but now that I'm getting a feel for it, I think we're okay. So I'm going to go back down to lean again. It's just a matter of building up the confidence, practicing, and... Whoa, a bit wide.
Finish the race on this compound.
Oh, that pit exit is horrendous. Alonso on my ass now, I think it is. Yeah. On cold tyres as well. Came back out in 16th.
Valtteri is in the pits.
Don't really care what Valtteri's doing, thanks, Jeff. Alright, let's go back up to... Alonso's got DRS on me rather. You're not going to get past though.
0.3 seconds.
Oh no, they're all coming out in front of me. Got a bit of an undercut there. Gained 2 positions, I think. So that's not too bad. Bit of an undercut there by pitting a lap earlier. Let's see if we can get these guys while they're on cold tyres.
The car ahead has come in and fitted the soft tyre.
Oh, I don't know, we're a bit far. He's got ERS as well. Ah, that was a bit clumsy on my part. Should have backed out. Did we get damage? No, how did we not get damage? That's crazy. That was way too aggressive for a league race, but for AI, I don't really care. Would not have done that if it was a proper race, that's for sure. Whoa. Yeah, so I'm still taking my eyes off the road when I adjust fuel and ERS, simply because I'm not confident that I've done one click or that one click has given the input that I wanted. So with the gloves on, like when I roll the wheel, it's still like the clicks aren't defined enough that I'm confident that I've done one or two clicks. So I don't know whether I've gone up too far or down too far. And it's hard to say whether it's just me getting used to it or whether it's just because the click is a little bit too light. I feel like if the click was a little bit harsher, it'd be better, but I don't know. It's hard to say.
We're catching the car ahead, but be aware that these tyres need to last till the end of the race.
I'm going to jump all three of these guys. Whoa. I'm going to have to start saving fuel. Nah, I don't have enough battery.
5 laps of fuel remaining.
They've got all ERS as well, or DRS rather. I've got to save fuel. I can't keep going in this mode. I'm a lap down now. I don't know why they're so slow there. Oh, another penalty. I'm going to end up last just because of the 3-second penalties I keep getting. Just this, without the damper setting that I'm used to, it's just a little bit more twitchy on turning, and I'm finding I'm just slightly cutting that inside curb.
We're very low on fuel. Tried to shift up through the gears earlier. It may help save more fuel.
He's going to jump me this straight. I'm going to have to change back to overtake. I can't afford to go out of lean fuel mode. Oh, what? It's so slow there. Dive bomb him. It's the thing with AI, you put your inside wheel there and they just jump out of the way straight away.
Good job.
No, you're not getting past me. You're not getting past me. Oh, no, 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 no.
Gap to the car in front is 1.5
Not this time. Leclerc. I need to save more fuel. I'm going to run out. I'm probably going to run out of fuel anyway, I think. Oh, I've got DRS at least.
Battery charge is low. If we turn down the ERS deployment, we can harvest
I
more
can't
energy.
turn down the ERS deployment. Crank it down now.
We have 2 laps of fuel remaining.
I know, Jeff, I know. Another penalty.
You've been awarded a time penalty for that last
That's
hit.
9 seconds now. Alright, we're going to dive bomb him here. We've got nothing to lose.
Yellow flag.
Yellow flag, what's that for?
Right, some information on Ricardo. They are out.
Ricardo's out. Surprise, surprise. It's a realistic game. So come on, we can get into the points. We've got 2 laps to go. Whoa, tyres are gone.
This is your final lap of the race.
Oh, we can go back to standard again now. Whoa, don't lose it on the last lap. Oh, we're going to run out of fuel. I wasn't paying attention. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, we didn't quite run out of fuel.
Alright, race over.
Alright, so overall impressions of the wheel. So, I'm not feeling the instant gratification that I hoped that I would have with this wheel. I thought that as soon as I plugged it in, I'd be absolutely over the moon, especially with these thumb dials. I thought that they were just going to be an absolute game changer for me. And what I've found, at least with my initial usage, is that it's really not all that much better for me than it was to just use these top buttons. Definitely a absolute improvement over using a button box to make adjustments to things like ERS and DRS, or ERS and fuel trim while you're driving. No question about that whatsoever. But the fact that you can't use these dials here in F1 2018 at the moment. Now, we're yet to see whether there's going to be a patch or whether it's going to be supported in the later version. We would hope that in F1 2019, at least, given that FANATEC are a major sponsor of the game, that they would have the features working for the wheels that they're marketing along with those games. But as it stands right now, these selection dials you can't use in the game. They don't have any function whatsoever. The thumb wheels, they're just not quite... They're too loose. they don't have enough, while there is a little bit of a click there every time you spin it, it's not enough to really feel properly through gloves, and you don't know whether you've done 2 clicks or 1, or whether it's registered or not, which means you still have to take your eyes off the road to see whether it's done it. Now, obviously, if you've got a heads-up display like what I have, it's a little bit better because you can actually see the selection there. But when you're concentrating on the road, you're mid-corner, you're fighting with other cars, you do have to break your concentration to change mode still, which is, I guess, what I had hoped wouldn't be the case with this wheel. So I guess the big question is, would I upgrade to this wheel over the Formula Black or the Formula Carbon? So obviously I did spend the money. I did buy this wheel when I'd already paid full price for this wheel as well. So I've kind of taken one for the team here for you. So I definitely prefer this wheel to the Formula Carbon. I think, you know, having those extra features there is definitely a bonus. And I think that with a little bit more time to get used to it, I will get used to these thumb wheels and I will enjoy the improvement that they offer, even when wearing the gloves as well. It's definitely nicer to use than the tactile buttons at the top. But, you know, is it worth the money? If you can sell your Formula Carbon, if it's still in good condition, it's definitely worth the money. I think if you can recoup a couple of $100 at least for this one. Forking out the full amount over the top, I'd probably be a little bit more of a stretch for me. I feel like, you know, if I wasn't going to be selling this wheel, it'd probably be a little bit more of a disappointment in terms of the level of the upgrade. And I think, you know, overall, it just doesn't quite feel like the upgrade that I hoped that it would be. But hopefully with a bit more time, once I've got a little bit more used to it, I'll decide otherwise and I'll be really happy with the purchase. So anyway, look, otherwise the VFD display is really nice. I can see the speed there really clearly. Having those having the rev counter not glaring in your face with those sort of opaque lenses like before, with having the sort of diffusing effect in there, is a lot nicer. I can't test the flashing flags in F1 2018 because that feature isn't working yet either. That'll be nice, hopefully, once they fix that up as well. So when the safety car and the VSC and stuff like that come out, you can see the flashing. But as of right now, that's not working either. So it feels a little bit unfinished. It would be nice if, especially after waiting for 3 months for this product to arrive, it'd be nice if the features were implemented by Codemasters. But that's not Fanatec's fault. That's more of a Codemasters thing, and it's specific to F1 2018 as well. But hopefully all of those things will be working in F1 2019. We can always hope. Okay guys, so that is my first impressions of the ClubSport V2 Formula Wheel from FANATEC. So what I'll be doing is, over the course of the next couple of weeks and months, I'll be using this obviously a lot, and I'll come back later on and do a full review, giving my overall impressions having used it for a little while. So guys, I hope you found this video interesting and useful. As always, if you have, please do hit that like button, hit the subscribe button as well so you don't miss the next video, and of course the notification bell as well. Now, if you do want to pick up any of the gear that you've seen in this video, as I mentioned before, you can do so in the description below via the affiliate links. But for now, that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.